Hey there. No guarantees this stream's going to go very long. My voice is, yeah. For those of you who have been with me for a moment or two, let me dial my gain up. There we go. My neuropathy works in cycles. And basically it attacks different portions of my body at different times, and it sort of works its way around and damages everything. And part of that is my gastrointestinal tract. And if you're familiar, your gastrointestinal tract actually begins up here. So yeah, it looks like we're doing another cycle. It started down below and worked its way up. So my throat is rough, as I put it in the title, sandpaper. The last time it did this, it lasted a couple months. I babied it and that sort of thing. So we'll just have to bear. You'll just have to bear with me as Kai limps along. Trust me, Estrella. Karina, no, it's not heartburn. I wish it were as simple as heartburn. No, it's literally the small fiber nerves that are being damaged. But I'll probably end up taking a couple of days off every week, every other week, just to rest my voice and rest my throat. I did a bad thing this weekend. I knew I needed to rest my throat this weekend. I needed to rest my voice, but I didn't. I played video games with a few of you. You know who you are. Over the weekend. It was fun, though. I had a good time. Cassidy, trust me. Yeah, I feel you on that one. Yeah. Karina, it's just the way it is. Oh, Jesus Christ. Apparently North Korea's banned mullets, nose piercings, and skinny jeans. Kim Jong-un's latest crackdown on anti-socialist behavior. Just noticed it on my feed. Thank you, Joe. Exactly, caboose. Yeah, it's gonna be a thing. It's gonna be a thing. Oh, let me refresh a couple of things over here just to. All right. Marriage still up. Thank you, Joe. Might have to end up doing that, quite frankly. It's Zippy. The skinny jeans are cute if you're young enough and skinny enough. I'm okay with them, but we need to put like an age limit and a weight limit on them. There. Angie, the soup would be useless. I need more protein than that and more carbs. Cassidy, I like it. Oh. I'm just saying, if he was packing something that could be described as a nuclear missile, I'm okay with him wearing skinny jeans. Hey Elle, thank you for the resub. Yes, welcome to the next probably the next month or two. It's going to be Kai speaking in a very sedated ASMR voice. So welcome to this. I hate having to do this. Nice. Estrella. Okay, so hang on. I want Karina. Are you available? Get on the line. I just want somebody to vouch for me on this one. That I beat Vosh to the punch on this one. All right. So everybody knows, before Vosh was going off about this, apparently today, Karina, who was bitching about it yesterday?
Yes. Okay, so for a heads up for anyone, sorry, not yesterday specifically, what you're thinking of with Friday. Last time on stream, we had a good solid rant about how in Pride, it should be more accessible for, children and children of gay couples so that they have an entry point to Pride. Right now, I don't consent to you walking around with your sex play. And, very specifically in that environment. Now, advocating for specific spaces and times, that's a different thing. But just the main parade of the daytime should be a place in which kids are acceptable. Let's leave the kinkster shit at home for the time. Vosh went on a good solid, hour-long rant today about it, and it will be the topic for a while. We wanted to make it perfectly clear that Kai had set this on the table before that.
I've been banging this drum for a decade. It's something I have thought Pride does more to harm the gay community than good. At least the way we've been running Pride parades in a good, fair portion of the places we run them. There are places where Pride parades are just, your local homos fucking walking down the street with a sign. Nothing wrong with that. You do you. But Vegas, San Francisco, New York, LA, Chicago, Miami, Louisiana, New Orleans, it's all of the major London, all of the major Pride parades are nothing more than a sex festival for the LGBTQ community. And it's a very, very bad look when you interact with the straight community, when you interact with your politicians, and especially when there are children present. I do not need to see you in your puppy play or your pony play. I don't need to see you with a tail, a butt plug tail shoved up your ass. I don't need to see you blowing 3 dudes on the Pride Parade float. I don't need to see you holding a sign that says free hand jobs and then giving out free hand jobs. This removes my ability to consent to your sex play. So
now, if this was an event that was a sex play event, you consented by coming to the location.
Yeah.
Pride isn't that.
If
And
you
in fact, it's
if you want to
kind
have
of
public
main-
sex, do it. If you want to go to a sex club or a gay beach, or we have a place here. We've got a resort here in town in Vegas, for those of you who don't know, that you wander around the entire property, buck-ass naked, blowing dudes and taking it up the ass. It's a great time. Go there. But we're talking like Main Street. Stop that. It's not helpful.
Not to mention, for anyone who wants to push back against this, Pride is a very particular part of the LGBT. I'm gonna say not community. It's optics. It is the only main stake event that has year coverage from everywhere. Every news station picks up on it at least one point or another. Your local news is always talking about it. It's a parade that the public watches. It is not it is not a gay safe space. It is specifically a space saying we exist, we're proud of what we are, and we live in the normal world. And while that once was the opportunity to say fuck you all, we exist, now it's more of a hey look, we're normal too.
I don't think it's... The people we have to convince, the ones we have to work with, and any group that's on the outside doesn't like to hear this, right? Trans, gay, black, Hispanic, women, abuse victims, it doesn't really matter. Any marginalized group who's on the outside, who's trying to get the system and the social group to work with them to gain some level of respect and acceptance, for better or for worse, has to make some compromises. And this is one we have to make. It's not your, super progressive liberal New Yorker that you have to convince. It's your red stater, right? It's your Bible thumper. It's your conservative stepfather. Those are the people we're after at this point. These are the ones pushing back on abortion. These are the ones pushing back on rights for trans kids. These are the ones pushing back on, the gay people in general, the entire LGBTQ community. So it doesn't help our case when the image that's going to be spread around is some twink dressed up as a puppy with a fist-sized butt plug shoved up his ass, walking down the street on knee pads and, I don't even know what they call the mitts that they wear for that play, being led on a leash by their dom. That's not helping our case. Oh, okay. They're just called paws. Thank you. That's not helping our case. Look, I don't want to take your puppy mask away. I don't want to take your fist-sized butt plug away. You do you. Have fun. But if there's a purpose to this parade, if it's politically motivated, if it's designed to alter perceptions within a social group, you're doing it wrong. Now, if you just want to have a sex parade, all right, just tell me it's a sex parade. I'm cool. But that isn't what I've always been told the point of Pride is. And as a gay man, as a politically active gay man, I've always thought that Pride was operated incorrectly in many spaces. And this is one of those things that I've been talking about, like I said, for a decade. And we were just talking about it not that long ago. Beat you to the punch, Vosh. again. But yeah, I just think we should dial that back within the LGBTQ community, at least within those public spaces where we're attempting to gain some level of acceptance, whatever the fuck that means. Yeah, grandma who goes to, church on Sunday and knits Bible covers and cooks for the potluck. You're not going to help your case with that. So take it down a notch, tone it down a little bit. And that's all. And keep it to the places where it's appropriate. Keep it to the places where people are consenting. Keep it to the places where there aren't children who can't consent. Because I think we've all seen that photo, which is super uncomfortable. The person in the fetish furry costume with the kid who approached them in the street and is clearly upset by it. Yeah, we don't need that.
I don't know what photo you're talking about, but I believe its existence.
Yeah, it makes the rounds about once a year on Reddit at least. I know that. And it's super cringeworthy. Stray, as far as Pride, it's usually just a gay sex parade. It's not usually a sex parade, per se. Yeah. It's just... I've had issues with Pride for quite some time. Yeah. We need to dial that down. We need to tone it down a bit. Or just rebrand it. Right? If we want to have a Folsom Street Fair, which, for those of you who have ever seen Folsom Street Fair, it's just sexcapades. It's just fucking. It's just raw, unadulterated fucking in public. Cool. I'm fine with it. I'm down. But don't let kids in, and make sure everybody knows that's the purpose of it. Just me. Got CPU? Just me. Yeah. Nice. Good for you, Kaiser. All right. I have been Pride in New Orleans and Southern Decadence Festival in New Orleans are both on bourbon, so kids shouldn't be there to begin with, and all of that's normal any night on bourbon, so it's not crazy for New Orleans. Fair enough, Cassie. They shouldn't be there. They often are.
Yeah, if you want your Pride parade to be adults only, you have option. You could hold it at night. That is one of the quickest way to cut down on children.
Geez, he wants 100 bits for a cheer. It used to be 10,000 bits, right? 10. Yeah, it used to be 10,000 bit minimum to try and prevent people from donating tiddly. But I was proven wrong. People will donate 10,000 bits. So I dropped it to 100 because people were going to donate one way or the other. If you want to cheer, if you just want to say, good job, I was happy with what you said, say, good job, I was happy with what you said. You don't need to give me money. That's, yeah. Hey, without. Yeah, as long as, Cave, as long as they wear something under those assless chaps, which he is in that photo. But often these days, yeah.
Maybe something more than a shoestring thong.
Yeah. It's gotten a little unacceptable. And I mean, this is coming from a dude who has trouble keeping his clothes on if he has like 2 drinks in him. This is coming from a dude who has easily attended a few 25 plus person orgies in his life, right? This is coming from a dude who has done his fair share of kink and fetish play, right? I'm a degenerate just like most of you fucks. but I'm also concerned about the political optics of the issue. And the pride parades aren't helping us. They're not. What used to be this like self-affirming event for us as a community has turned into this display of debauchery that is used as political ammunition against us. And it's time to sort of accept and realize that and be put on our big boy and girl pants or our big NB pants and come to terms with that and sort of address it as a community. Be like, okay, we need to fix a couple of these issues. Oh, well, L, there's always time for you two. L said, I'm no degenerate, sir. Well, you know, nobody's perfect. Tiddly, I lived in the Deep South. I did my tour of duty in Tennessee. I gotta tell you, there's a lot of people that give a shit that I'm gay. You can't tell me otherwise. I've experienced them. I've experienced entire churches full of people that give a shit if I'm gay. I've experienced entire towns full of people who violently care whether I'm gay or not. All right, I've done my tour of duty. This isn't secondhand knowledge. This is firsthand experience. So your blanket statement of conservatives don't care. So living in the Deep South is a tour of duty unto itself, especially if you're a gay anarchist. Yeah, and Wither's still fucking there. Yeah. Yeah, you never get old to be a degenerate. Exactly. They didn't know I was an anarchist. They did know I was gay, though. Some of them did, and then all of them did. Funny how that works. Houston's a big town, so at least it has that going for it. It's a big city, Houston. So, sure, it's Texas, but... Yeah, Momo. Having worked in an LGBT community center in Kansas that has been shot at, attempts were made to blow it up and burn it down. Conservatives 100% care. Yeah. Sorry. A bunch of us have firsthand experience with violence and threats against our lives, especially in that part of the world from conservatives, social conservatives, that inform otherwise. They care. They give a huge fucking shit that we are LGBTQ. All based off of an incorrect Bible verse translation. Because they're fucking... I'm doing it. Because they're fucking idiots who don't know their own Bible. They have no theological studies to back up their understandings of the Bible. They don't understand the fact of the matter is that the passage from Leviticus is a mistranslation from the Greek arsenokotai, meaning pederasty, not homosexuality. And you can double check this based off of the old Germanic Bibles at the time, which predate the English language Bibles, which forward translate to pederasty as well. The Bible isn't explicitly against homosexuality. It is against men sleeping with children. But hey, who needs some theology or ministry under their belt to understand the Bible? Right? Oh, I know. I trust me. I'm an ordained minister. Trust me. That's one of the first things as a gay ordained minister you start looking into is, hey, what's the deal with the Bible hates me thing? Oh, it's a mistranslation. Interesting. Does anybody give a shit? Any Americans actually give a shit? No, you're just going to thump your Bible and quote the verse? Cool. Cool. That'll go well. Hey, how about all that Jesus shit about loving thy neighbor? Oh, cool. Only if they're not, a woman, a queer, a commie, black, Mexican, an immigrant. Got it. So really not that much of a Christian. All right. Cool. Yeah. I did my tour of duty in the Bible Belt. Yeah, love thy neighbor, unless you don't like him. I don't wipe, Tiddly. Like any first world developed nation, I use bidets. Because if I smeared fetid shit on your face, chances are wiping it off with a piece of dry paper isn't going to be enough for you. How about we get some water into the mix? Yeah. The logic is the foundation for their hatred is illogical, uncredible, a mistranslation, and hatred passed on to them by their pastors and their parents. Here's the logic. No emotion. It's ignorance of their own Bible and of common sense and how you run a decent society. But hey, as old Uncle George Carlin said, who's got time for solutions? Oh, yeah. I know. Yeah, right, Momo. Yeah, and against science and fact and common decency and basic human experience. Yeah. That is probably, that is the only halfway decent rebuttal of that phrase I have ever seen. Congratulations. Who's got time for... I don't have time for solutions. I got too many problems for that shit.
You know what? Yeah.
I respect it. I disagree, but I respect it. The Bible is no font of morality. I mean, it just depends by what morals you're looking to establish, I suppose. Morals aren't necessarily good or evil. People have to remember that. So, yeah. Boom. What about Sodom and Gomorrah? Oh. Why drag a queer behind your truck? Or a black person? Why beat a young gay teenager and strap him to a post in the middle of the field to leave him to die? Right? Last time I checked, sticks and stones may break my bones. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Right? So I criticize people for believing in a God. Remember, Christians don't have a monopoly on God either. Oh,
you just seem to be the most outspoken dumb fucks about it.
You're full of shit, Tiddly. Conservatives don't do that. Only BLM and Antifa. You're full of shit. You need to look up Matthew Shepard. You're full of shit. You don't know what you're talking about. And with that context, I now understand how to further speak to you. Thank you for clarifying how much you actually know. Oh, I'm sorry, Joe. Hey, Momo. Matthew.
Joe, you're just having way too bad of a day. Go to bed, hon.
Matthew Shepard on both of us.
think he's Tilly's just trying to set fire. Right.
Oh, secular. Something like that.
Out of all BLM riots, no cop deaths.
Well,
First conservative riot of 2020, cop dies, and 4 more conservatives.
I know. The last time I checked, the Antifa BLM protests didn't beat a cop to death. Oh wait, who did? Interesting. But hey, you do you, boo. You do you.
The first response. Oh. Hope you do good. Hope you're doing better, Joe.
Hey, Sumdum. Zippy. It's true. It's true, Zippy.
All right, now I remember. Tildy, if you even go and try and find the accounts you're thinking of, the only thing you're going to come up is conservative YouTubers making up lies on live streams and podcasts, talking about people being beat in the street, but you won't find any actual news reporting with real facts and citations.
Well, that's. Have you considered because the Jews run the media? Don't worry, I'm just heading him off at the pass, because we know it's going to end up there anyway.
I'm really not going to respond with YouTube videos of your idea.
Cave, yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Tiddly, come on.
Okay, maybe.
Hey, Tiddly, you want to come on the air and have a reasonable discussion? First one to say gamer word loses.
I feel like behind this, I feel like we need Mitri to actually make a list of official gamer words for this channel.
I think Cat would probably be better at it. Yeah, the Zoomer will know more of them.
That's fair.
Or at least the ones that qualify as gamer words. Like maybe we just need a bunch of our boomer, Gen X, millennial asses to just start saying words that we used to use as insults, and then we can get the Zoomers to tell us if they're gamer words or not.
If only the people that if only the people who it addresses can use it now, it's probably a gamer word.
I don't debate, Tiddly. I'll have a conversation, though.
I might actually debate you with voice. Yeah, come on in. Well, we don't debate, but come on, come and talk.
Rabbit, the ultimate
We're not going
boomer.
to do some... Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just quoting Momo there. Rabbit, the ultimate boomer, can help. Yes, but not all politics is debate. You do understand that, right? No, you don't. Never mind. Wait, that's dawning on me. There's an entire, segment of our population that doesn't understand that not all political discussion is debate. And
discussion doesn't have to be heated argument.
And
with a winner in this.
There's most of those people that think it's debate have never actually engaged in an actual debate. They just like to argue.
They probably do their best Ben Bebo impression and then, try and sound smart.
Jesus, Cave. Cave, thank you. I'm deleting the message. I have the link. Cave, thank you. Jesus Christ.
What did he just...
Holy shit. That is...
Sounds like you hit something
dude,
on the
that
nose.
is comprehensive, Cave. That is fucking comprehensive.
I'm probably not going to be able to hear it through your mic, so share it with me. I promise I won't share with chat.
Oh, here. It's coming to your DMs. Wow. And it rhymes. Oh my god. Holy shit, Cave.
There's a song to go with it. Like, there's an audio file to go with this.
No. Not that I'm aware.
Oh, damn it. That's amazing, though. How to break TOS in less than a second.
Okay, it's going up spoiler on shared content with a warning. All right, if you're on the Discord server, it's in shared content. It's to the tune of the Animaniacs Countries song, according to Cave.
Oh my god, I can hear it in my head reading
I'm
it.
doing it too. Oh, shit. That works. Dude, Cave, where the fuck did you find this? Wow.
We should ask Kat's little brother to record him. He is singing it.
It's impressive. It's impressive, Cave. Oh, you can do that.
Existential, you're gonna risk it. Don't start saying words from this list thinking they're outdated. You might just find it in your ass later.
It works. It fucking works. Jesus Christ.
A little dangerous how much it works. Actually, Tildy, to be honest, we are not going to drop Let It Go on you. That would be very cringy. Simply put, we are reading a very racist rendition of a cartoon song that lists probably every gamer word from 10 years ago.
Patriot Kid, then refresh the page, Control F5, close the browser, reopen it, or force quit the app and reopen it. That's about all you can do. Okay, public. Hey there.
Have a good one, public. See you in and out.
Fuck is MK11, like Mortal Kombat 11? Or, like... the Mark 11 Mod 1 SR-25 rifle.
You mean Mortal Kombat? Wait, is MK11 one of the FBI pests on American soil?
Fair enough. Welcome, Honesty. I love Zippy. I don't know what all of them are. Dude, that's a fucking list. Let me pop.
Did I Stutter is not how one would respectfully respond if you want your ideas and opinions to be accepted as a human being.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
If you want to actually expand on that, we'd like to.
All right.
We're only trying to figure out what it is.
Sixth, I don't know, stanza, paragraph, refrain. however we wish to work this. The sixth block down, the second line, first word, I want to know who that's for. Is that for white people? I mean, it's paired up against one that, I mean, these feel like it's for white people.
The difference is Tilde is addressing individuals. Conservatives are not individuals; they are a group amassing and collecting of their ideas.
So wait, I'm not allowed to criticize conservatives unless it's a personal attack on you. Are these the actual like ground rules you're setting
Pretty much
down?
what they're arguing for. They're saying any address to conservatives automatically addresses.
Because not
Tilde.
once have we spoken about you. We've been speaking literally about conservatives, about the Bible Belt, the Deep South, and how there is a milieu, a social group, a community of homophobic, transphobic, anti-leftist behavior patterns within that region. Never did we address you specifically in that regard, but you've taken it as attack on you personally? Interesting. So I won't be accepting any criticism against anarchism, against leftist ideologies, or against anything LGBTQ, or else that will be considered an ad hominem attack against me. So if we're setting ground rules that are completely unreasonable and insane, might as well.
Oh my god. Oh boy. Tilde,
Yeah, me try.
are
Pretty much.
you a conservative or a human being with your own ideals? Like, do you identify soul-heartedly with conservatives and take anything that we address to conservatives directly at you? Like,
And-
is this somehow a personal slight that you can't get off this hill?
And I specifically even drilled it down further to social conservatism. So are you a social conservative? Are you ascribing to Burkean philosophies? Do you even understand what Burkean philosophies are? Do you understand the origins of modern conservatism find their roots within the French Revolution and a vocal support for the monarchy? Do you understand that most modern conservatives actually are advocating for monarchism without even realizing it?
If you're a libertarian, as you say, Tilde, then you'd be surprised how much you're going to agree with a lot of our statements. You won't like what we say ad hominem at conservatives, but if you hear about what we stand for, you're probably going to agree with us more than not. And if we tell you what what conservatives stand for, what the political party actively advocates for, you probably won't agree with.
Why did
We're anti-authoritarian. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm just wondering why I'm trying to sound smart. I always wonder why. Thank you for the follow, Kevin. Thank you for the follow, Hussar. I always wonder why. I mean, Asimov pointed it out. Jesus Christ, almost what, 80 years ago now. This strain of anti-intellectualism within North America. What is it? What do you have against intelligence? What do you have against an understanding of civics and political science and history? Why does understanding the evolutionary factors, at least academically involved within the political spectrum, why is that something to be mocked and critiqued? Why is that a problem to understand something in a fuller, greater manner? That's always I always find that interesting. This particular strain of especially American anti-intellectualism.
All right. However, though, as much as anti-intellectualism is a constant rampage, I feel like Tilde if they're genuinely trying, and I mean genuinely trying, Tilly, answer me this. What is your biggest thing that you believe makes you personally a conservative or a libertarian?
He said, or they said, I should say, do you realize that most liberals support communism?
Oh, yeah.
Holy shit.
I wanted to say, can you define communism? But that's
Can
not
you
the
define
point.
liberalism?
Jesus, yeah, okay. I think liberal and conservative just means left right to this person, and I think looking at it any differently is kind of an issue.
Cave, thank you. Okay, so okay, thank you, Cave. I was wondering about that. Oh, okay. Uh, Where?
Me, that's a bit excessive. Don't
Where? I
like.
don't see. I don't
I
see
don't.
where
I
they
didn't see
identified
them
as male or
self-identify.
female. Huh. I don't know if you're a dude or a chick. So them, right? Now that I know you're a dude, I'll call you a dude if that's what your gig is. I don't care. But
Okay, Tildy. I. How do you feel about me identifying as a woman? I have male genitalia. Does that bother you, or are you fine with that? I'm not saying fear, because you obviously have said you're not afraid or scared, but does it make you angry, confused, aroused? Like, why would you give a shit about? Oh, okay, so that's true libertarianism, at least trying to go that way.
no,
Kind of
that's
silly.
more gender nihilism than libertarianism. And I find
That's
that
fair.
I find libertarians aren't that familiar with gender nihilism. Existential, that would be amazing to see. Fucking L. Sometimes L. You're downright amusing. Okay.
But Elle, can you be definite about anything?
Do you understand the difference between sex and gender, though? Because it seems like you don't. And while you, at a colloquial level, may not need to understand that distinction, at a technical, scientific, and medical level, there actually is a distinction. Now, I understand you're probably not a doctor. You're probably not a psychologist or a therapist. You're probably not somebody who needs to understand these technical distinctions. There are technical distinctions between them. Oh, Tiddly, sweetheart, boo-boo.
No, sorry, Tiddly.
There is. There
If
actually
you're
is.
telling me you have a grandniece, then you're telling me you haven't kept up with science since you were probably 15 or so. You can't expect your outdated world to somehow still be truthful when your science wasn't even perfect. Ours isn't even, but it's far more advanced and better than yours ever was. And the understanding of the world we have is far more freeing
Oh,
than ever. Also, I had college too. Whoop-de-dingle-do.
I don't care.
Kai's, like, we have plenty of educated people in this chat. They
God,
probably greatly outdo you in
the per capita of
anything you want to
PhDs
say.
in the community at this rate is fucking ridiculous.
I only have a diploma, but like still, damn.
But again, probably in that territory of college makes you a liberal because it's brainwashing territory, I'm guessing. Just a shot in the dark. Nice, Vivo. You're bringing the average back into the average. Good job, Viva. I approve. No. No. It has nothing to do with your mind. It has to do with the knowledge that your mind has accumulated. I'm not saying your
It's
mind is
out of date.
inferior. I'm not saying that it is somehow performing less than. What I'm saying is that there are areas of understanding and knowledge that you seem not to be familiar with. And we have members of our community, and some of us have knowledge and experience and understanding within these realms. And there is very much a technical distinction between the sex and the gender of a human being. And there has been for many years. This isn't some like post 2000 thanks Obama situation. This has been this way for quite a few decades at this point. So
My conceptual understanding of the systems and structures is pretty awesome, though I'm still working on how they look when applied to reality. That's the iffy part. Yeah, no, I get you with her.
oh god, yeah. Fucking Rev, yeah, goddamn IQ shit. Estrella. Fair play, Estrella. Hey, Super Dad.
If I say what I really want to, you will accept it. Don't tell me what to do. You have no right to tell me what to do.
Again, I'm
Try
not.
using logic instead of emotion.
You've said that
I'm
before,
sorry,
and you were
you're the one
countered. You were.
using emotion.
Yeah, this isn't an emotive response. We're literally countering you with academic knowledge, right? Like that's.
Do I actually have to start going through? Do I actually need to break down how gender has nothing to do with the roles in the life we live, and it's entirely
Oh,
prescriptive?
they
to
rolled
the...
out the IQ number. I quote
Oh,
Stephen fucking Hawking, arguably one of the smartest men of a generation. Anybody who talks about their IQ is a loser. Or I should say, people who talk about their IQ is a loser. Are losers. There you go. There's Stephen Hawking on the issue of talking about your IQ. It's cringe.
now this may be an assumption. Now this isn't
Bye,
with people
L.
who have IQs,
Good luck.
but just people who like to talk about having IQs. I have a feeling they're often very antisocial, and have difficulty making friends.
Lucy. Oh, Lucy. Ask anything you want. Overlord, who's Oh, is that? Yeah, that's 200 IQ. Lana Lux, interesting. Oh. Well, Joe, just, moderate it a little bit. Just be careful. Just be careful. That's all. I know, right, premarital? Rev, that's basically why I did it. Oh, I see Cave typing. Not me, Cave. Not fucking me. Oh, so everybody knows, Glazy is the one who talks about IQ, idolizes Ben Carson, and said that we should raid a conservative Republican, true blue collar, hardworking patriot instead of somebody else I was going to raid. So just, contextualize what you're dealing with there.
What just happened there? One of Tildy's messages got deleted.
Well, Estrella is trying to encourage him to type more than 5 words at a time by doing that. The previous one was a reference to a school shooting. That's the one I pulled. The one before, the one after that was the one Estrella has been trying to subtly encourage this individual to spend a couple of seconds, type more than 5 words at a time, use some grammar and your vocab skills, a little punctuation sprinkled in, stuff like that. That's what Estrella's pushing for.
You keep saying to wait. The chat won't wait. Everyone's talking and having conversations amongst themselves. Please,
Estrella,
whatever you want to ask, just type away. Ignore us.
Estrella, the point has been received. Stop, please. You're entering that Mitre level of fucking with people. Now, Tidley. Now, Tidley, try a couple sentences. Try putting it all together. Take your time. Put it in a bundle. Tie it up with a neat little ribbon. Send it on its way.
I will note they keep making addresses that looks like they're going to take, and this is not a phrasing I would use, the Lord's name in vain, but use alternative phrases instead. So I'm assuming, and this is only an assumption, that Tildy is of faith. And also
that
why
would
the
be
earlier conversations
amazing.
have to set them off more.
Well, then let's do this. Hey, Tidley, do you have a headset? Do you have earbuds or headphones with a microphone on it? Oh, by the way, taking the Lord's name in vain isn't saying something like, Jesus fucking Christ. Taking the Lord's name in vain is actually an old turn of phrase meant to say to use the Lord's name inappropriately. In other words, to ascribe behavior or commands otherwise not handed down from the Lord on high. So to judge thy neighbor is to take the Lord's name in vain. To say, God hates fags. You're judging me, and you're doing it in the name of the Lord. That is taking the Lord's name in vain, and is one of the worst sins you can commit.
Little kids that don't clean their room burn in hell. Not only is it child abuse, it's also the very same thing. It's taking the Lord's name in vain.
And Glazy, Tidley, Glazy, I've been an ordained minister for 18 years.
There it is. I was waiting for it to come out again.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys, not the place to be when you want to use the Bible thumping as your main expression. A lot of us here are born Christians, turn agnostic or atheist. You are not going to get the best reception you think.
So if you want to have a theological discussion based upon biblical texts and tenets, by all means, I'm open to that. But understand what you're walking into when you do that. I'm not a casual. Cassidy. Yeah. Neon, it would be generic Christian, but slightly Presbyterian leaning. But my understanding comes from all aspects because I've spent a lot of time doing comparative religious studies. And so I understand what the Pentecostals are on about. I understand what the Protestants and the Catholics are on about. I understand what, the Gnostics even. Like I've spent a minute or two doing my comparative religious studies. I'm not super versed in the Quran. The Quran is probably my least versed text, with the Torah shortly above that. I'm better at Taoism. I understand Sikhism to a certain extent. Hinduism, which isn't actually called Hinduism if you're a Hindu, by the way, but that's neither here nor there. And a little bit of Buddhism sprinkled in. But yeah, I spent a couple of minutes doing this. Nice, Dan. Rock on.
What about the Sikh in there?
I wanted to know, like, when the Sikhs, Sikhs are super based, and so I want to know what their gig was, and I really enjoy how the last guru, actually closed it off and said there are no more gurus. The texts are the teachers, and so from here on out there will be no gurus. I find that a really interesting series of like progressions, right? You have your first, your second, your third, your fourth, your fifth, your sixth, your seventh, your eighth, your ninth, your 10th. You have your gurus. And then all of a sudden the last guru comes along and says, we've written everything we need to write. It's in the text. That's it. The text is now the guru. I find that a really fascinating series of events. I don't like the aspect of, as an anarchist, I really, the aspect of saying, like, well, why? Because the guru says. That always creeps me out a little bit. But
it does kind of solidify authority.
Yes. But they walk the walk. They really, really walk the walk. If an oppressed group needs defending, they defend them. If someone is down on their luck, they help them up. If you need fed, they feed you. If you need clothed, they clothe you. If you need shelter, they shelter you. They are one of the most respectful religions on the planet operating right now. So, yeah, I quite enjoy the Sikhs. Yeah. Glaze, no. Centrists are super cringe. Centrists are people who sit in the middle and say, they're all the same. Hey, let's kill a bunch of black people. Hey, let's not kill a bunch of black people. Hey, guys, let's compromise. Look, they only want to kill some black people. Are you shitting me? Like, you're like that enlightened centrist shit that Reddit constantly makes fun of. It's not fun. Centrism is what got us where we are today. Obama, centrist. Like, that's fucking... Most of those presidents hang around in the center. That smacks of somebody who has never had a history lesson. If you think Obama was the worst president we ever had, you clearly didn't pay attention to history. I don't even need to use Trump. I don't need to use Trump for that. If you think Obama was the worst president we ever had, you fell asleep for like a semester's worth of history. God, you mean the beer and barbecue skeptic? Yeah, I remember that shit. God, that was cringe as shit. That's fair, public. That's fair. So, Tiddly, do you... I may have missed it. I don't fucking... Let me pop out your history first before I ask again. You can't get on Discord right now. Well, then. Do I need to use the Bible against conservatives? I mean, all right. So let's do some of the greats. Let's do some of the greatest hits, right? Acts chapter 2, 44 to 45. All who believe were together and had all things in common. They would sell their possessions and goods and distribute the proceeds of all to all as any who had need. Right? That's communism. Right out of the gate. Acts chapter 2, verse 44 to 45. That's communism. Straight up. Chapter 4, verse 32. Now the whole group of those who believed were of one heart and soul, and no one claimed private ownership of any possessions, but everything they owned was held in common. That's the abolition of private property. Just saying. Luke, chapter 18, verse 18 to 25. I'm not going to do the whole thing. That's the ruler who is asking about, how do you inherit eternal life? And Jesus tells him that you can't get into the kingdom of God. How hard is it for the rich to enter the kingdom of God? Indeed, it is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for someone who is rich to enter the kingdom of God. He specifically instructs him in that passage, by the way. He says, you still lack one thing. Sell everything you have and give it to the poor, and then you will have treasure in heaven. Then come and follow me. Matthew chapter 6, verse 24. No one can serve two masters, for a slave will either hate one and love the other, or be devoted to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and wealth. Just, some tidbits from the Bible. Skeptic, classifying who's the worst president is difficult to do depending on what you're looking at. There's an argument to be made that dragging us into the Civil War would earn one president, dragging, if Trail of Tears and genocide would earn another. It just sort of depends on how you want to classify that. Jackson's a contender, though, for sure. For sure, Jackson's a contender. Rev, could you do the I come not to change the agreement bit next? I keep hearing people say Jesus invalidated the old covenant, which is obviously bullshit. Wither, hey Kai, what's your response to someone if they say we know not to follow Jesus to a T and know of Jesus' story only because of the church? I would say to them that Jesus' message was simple. Yours is not to judge. Your power is not judgment. Your commandment, your order, handed down from upon high, is to love thy neighbor unconditionally. But Lord, what shall I do if if my brother strikes me upon the cheek? Turn the other cheek. But Lord, what if he strikes me again? How many times should I turn the other cheek? I say unto you, not once, not twice, 7 upon 7 times. Jesus said, take it on the chin, no matter what. Yours isn't vengeance. Yours is not judgment. Yours is to help and love thy neighbor. That's it. That is Jesus' commandment unto you. Anything short of that, well, you're not really following the path of the righteous, are you? Lucy, there's so many weird translations. I'm not a communist. I'm a... Okay. Do you understand? Do you understand? I'm not, like... I'm just saying that the Bible advocates for communism. Okay? Skeptic, for sure. Yeah. Here's some of my favorite. These are some of my favorites, right? I'm an anarchist, FYI. Matthew chapter 15, verses 7 through 9. Hypocrites, Isaiah was right when he prophesied. These people honor me with their lips, but their hearts are far from me. Their worship is false. Teaching is doctrine, the commandments of man. 1 John chapter 4, verse 20. Yes, John 4:20. If anyone says, I love God, and hates his brother, he is a liar. For he who does not love his brother, whom he has seen, cannot love God, whom he has not seen. James chapter 1, verse 26. Those who consider themselves religious, and yet do not keep a tight rein on their tongues, deceive themselves, and their religion is worthless. 1 John chapter 2, verses 3 through 6. Whomever says, I know him, but does not do what he commands is a liar, and the truth is not in that person. But if anyone obeys his word, love for God is truly made complete in them. This is how we know we are in him. Whoever claims to live in him must live as Jesus did. And you remember that stuff earlier about how to live as Jesus? Sell all your shit, give it to the people who need it. How many of us are doing that? Interesting. Estrella, the camel quote is Luke 18:18-25. It's an entire story, actually. Oh, wait, hang on. Abortion. Oh, this is my favorite one. Glazy. Abortion is not mentioned in the Bible but once. And it's in the bitter waters section. In fact, the only time the Bible mentions abortion is instructions to the priests, ministers, and the priest class on how to conduct and perform an abortion. That is the only time in the entire Bible that abortion is mentioned, is how to do one. Whoopsie. it's listed as a sin. Please, please. Give me any Greek Germanic translation of a Bible that iterates that. What the fuck? Do I have to... What is... Okay, thank you. Dude, Joe, I don't care who you're trying to ban. Stop trying to ban somebody. If you're ban happy, if you're angry and you're pissed because of the day you had, take it out on somebody else. I'm sorry, mod staff, I hate to call people out like this, but if you're having a bad day, taking it out on chatters on my channel is not the place to do it. And whether you're Joe, Mitre, Cat, Estrella, RV, or any of the other mods, not the place. Neon, no. No. The human... See, here's the difference. This is where comparative religious studies come into play. If there is the existence of the soul, if we are God's creation, whatever God may be, it's all God's creation. It's all equal. The fish, the cat, the tree, the human, the planet, the universe. It's all God's creation.
Also means we have no free will, and everything was pre-planned. So everything is planned. It means that I was created with these thoughts that make me want to be a woman.
And also, depending on whose iteration of the Bible's doctrines you listen to within the Garden of Gethsemane, Jesus saw all of our sins. Jesus was given the knowledge of what he was dying for. And he saw all of humanity's sin. He saw what he was absolving us of. So he knows. And he still loved you anyway. And he still forgave you. And it still didn't matter. So why should it matter to you? Bye, Momo. Yeah, Neon, it has. It has. It's depending on which sect you're involved in and which time period within which sect you're involved in. Yeah. Predetermination sort of is a hit and miss situation. I mean, technically no, Caboose. Technically no. Original sin was absolved by the crucifixion. That's the sacrifice Jesus laid down upon is the absolution of original sin in combination with all eventual sin. Depending on who you listen to, of course.
Okay, but what if the original sin is actually just because you have to touch a vagina to be born back then, and Jesus was actually a platinum gay, and just was really squeamish about that shit?
That's a take I haven't heard, but there's a take. No, Neon, I didn't see it, but thank you bringing it to my attention. Yeah, it's helpful to tag me, especially when chat's fucking doing this sort of thing.
Plaid Z with the plaid.
Oh, Glazy's just a fucking troll. Just know that. Don't know if you saw my message a while ago, but would you be up for talking about the idea of a secular church and the role of ritual society? I do believe human beings need tradition and ritual. I truly believe that. 100%. It is something that humans need on some level.
I think I agree with you, but I also believe in the statement that your beliefs and traditions hold no intrinsic value.
I agree with that.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with that. There is no, it's more a nominal value than an intrinsic value. So I can get behind that. But I think that there's a need within human beings for something. We need a thing. We need an altar to pray at. We need a place to go down on bended knee. We need to bang a drum and dance in a circle. We need to do the Dionysian ritual, whatever it may be. Right?
See, public, if we just had like a community, honestly, I would use the word prayer at times, but it'd be just like it's a communal gathering. You have a moment of prayer, you have a moment of dance and sing, and you have a moment of talking about what you can address in the community. And I think if you did that instead of a like organized religion, I genuinely think we would have a much bigger surge in community again.
I would go with, if you want to substitute prayer, I would go with either contemplation, reflection. These are the sorts of introspection. These are the things that, you can substitute in for prayer.
Thinking on your goals is also a good one to add in that. I think a lot of prayer is actually goal orienting themselves. They just think God's going to lead them towards that.
Skeptic? No, he would not be. For sure, no. I think the biggest failure of my secular kin was in throwing the baby out with the bathwater when it came to throwing off the chains of church oppression, talking about organizations, not faith. We did not look at the communal values the ritual provided. Neon, I agree with that. The communal hub, right? The focus, something like one day a week, everybody came together, and there was more happening at church than just angry brainwashing and hate teaching, right? We need to get rid of the anger. We need to get rid of the angry brainwashing and the hate teaching, for sure. But there was more happening there. Go ahead.
Like, think if you didn't live next to the friendly neighbors, but you were a very neighborly person. You go to the communal gathering person, you're like, oh hey, Sheila's literally holding a barbecue next weekend, and she's telling everyone at the community house, hey, come on in. I know you're the friendly people who want to make the community better. Things like that. My age group are so fucking isolated in their individual homes because neighborly mentalities are just fucking gone in their current day. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I do think that there's value there. I do. Seems that's pulling in numbers. I actually did change the title to Owning Evangelicals for Fun. I do think there's value there within the concept of the church, because if we substitute church for community, then we start to understand what was lost. But yeah, I think that I wouldn't have as many problems with Christians if Christians actually, 1, read their Bible, 2, understood their Bible, and 3, actually followed the teachings of Jesus. See, the Sikhs have read their texts, they understand their texts, and they walk the walk. Hardcore. The Golden Temple in India has been feeding people thousands, hundreds of thousands for 400 years straight. 7 days a week. Okay? They walk the walk. I would have less condemnation, less criticism, if I saw a little more behavior that was akin to that of their supposed savior. But what I often see is the Bible used for the justification of hate. The Bible used for the justification of violence. The Bible used for the justification of the oppression of women. The Bible used for the justification of the marginalization of immigrants and foreigners. Which, by the way, there's a whole bunch of passages in the Bible about how you should accept immigrants and foreigners in your community, and you should give unto them. Just saying. Turd. Okay, Tiddly, you want fair play? The Bible is super misogynistic in some regards. The Quran is super misogynistic in some regards. The Quran is very explicitly homophobic. The Quran leads to all sorts of routes of oppression and malignant behavior patterns. It is oftentimes raising up the words of a hugely problematic individual who lived his life in ways that, let's just say, we wouldn't approve of. This fair play? Are you gonna all you're gonna say is, hey, at least you didn't pussy out? No, like, hey, good job. Like, hey, okay, that's fair. You weren't a hypocrite. I was wrong actually in my judgment. No, none of that owning up. Yeah, typical Christian. Skeptic, there's more than just the 6-year-old. There's a few of them, actually. There should have been a little mea culpa in there somewhere. Viva, how dare you say the truth about the religion of my ancestors? Tiddly, at the top, I'm speaking about what I know about. I'm an ordained minister within the Christian faith, and I live in America. I literally said the text that I know the least about is the Quran. I have done the least amount of studying on the Quran. I do not live in the Middle East, nor do I live in a large Islamically populated area. How can I spend any significant amount of time with valid critics? Oh, that's right. You're somebody who doesn't need a full understanding of something to mount or wage criticisms upon it. See, I like to actually fully grasp and understand a topic to really criticize it. And it would be unfair of me to do that for 2 hours without having that foundational understanding about the Islamic religion and texts. Funny how that works. You were willing to talk shit about trans people and make criticisms about how sex and gender are the same thing without having a biological or a psychological understanding of either of the two topics, right? Like, this is the difference between you and I. You're comfortable talking out of your ass. I'm not. So if you want to go there, let's go there. Turd, who runs the Atheist Experience? I always forget his name. Matt? Is it Matt? Matt? Something? God, I always forget that dude's name. Dillahunty. Thank you. I always forget that dude's name. Matt Dillahunty. He's good people. Or to marry a Sikh woman of color. Do I have to become a Sikh? As far as I know, no. Let me just check that, though. Okay, so since when Sri Guru Gobind Singh was alive, Sikhs married non-Sikhs, but Rayat Maryada doesn't allow this. But then it depends whose Sikh teachings you follow. The original, if you're an originalist, then Sikhs are allowed to marry non-Sikhs. If you follow the teachings of the Sri Guru Granth Sahib, then you are technically not allowed to intermarry. Skeptic. So there's your answer, skeptic. Oh, good. Matt streams on Twitch. Good to know. Tiddly, put up or shut up, bitch. At this point, I'm kind of like, dude, you're just a cock tease. You're going to be the easiest person I've ever debated on Discord. All right. Well, put up or shut up. You talk a big game, but you're just sitting in chat. Oh, yeah, Level. I remember you mentioned... Hey there, Level. I remember you mentioned that you were a preacher's kid. Yeah, I remember that. I don't... The memory's a little bit better than that, Level. Yeah, I remember that conversation. Recommend the series Rami on a lazy primer on Egyptian Islamic culture in New York. Examples of Sikh practice. Taz, I think, recommended. Thank you, Some Sense. Tiddly, the debate is on. What kind of debate? What style of debate? What are the rules for the debate? What is the, what are the two positions that we're going to put forward? Come on. Like, this is the thing. I challenge you. I decline your challenge. Now what? I'm the one with the platform. You're just some dude in my chat that's attempting to gain, like, some sort of cred through a parasocial relationship. Turd, that is my number one recommendation to people who are trying to keep an eye out for that. That comes from Carlin from years ago. Just always keep an eye on people who have rules about wearing or not wearing a hat. They're usually the groups that are up to some level of shit fuckery.
Okay, but what if my rule is you can wear any hat that you find silly, and that is the point, is to make fun of groups that need silly specific hats.
Close that. Pope Shaft hat.
Come on, Tildy. We're waiting.
Info, my hat says peace. Got the dove and the olive branch and everything. Nice. Nice info. I've never looked good in hats. I can rock a visor to some extent. I can work a beanie. I can. I don't think that qualifies as a hat, but I can rock a balaclava pretty effectively. Thank you, Viva. And hey, there's Cappy. Okay, I should check that a snapback. Don't forget to wear your contemporary onion hats. Solomon would be proud. Oh God. Cappy hat and Kai Chan trousers.
Oh, that's not even Kai Chan. That's Kaiku.
Well, no. I don't think Wither's seen Kai Kun. Oh yeah, you put it in shared content. So yeah, there's a distinction. So maybe Wither's just talking about Kai Chan, not Kai Kun.
Fair. Unless you're talking about your underbeans.
Did you
actually order those?
No, I did spec. I did spec them out though. I can have them send me a sample anytime.
So you at least get one.
Oh, Neon. Yeah, no. Why? Human beings can't be trusted with power. I think that this is probably the root of it. Human beings can't be trusted with power. And so we need a system that balances individual autonomy with the needs of the social group. And the only one I've seen to address this in a manner that I find, shall we go with palatable, is various strains and forms of anarchism. And so well, Tiddly, I'm glad you found something. Thank you for the sub, and thank you for the follow. Glazy, your freedom of speech, as protected by the First Amendment of the United States Constitution, doesn't apply to private property. And right now, you are not in public. You are on a privately owned platform. Now, if you would like to discuss nationalizing assets of major corporations and turning them into public spaces, I am more than willing to have that conversation. I would love to begin to have that conversation. We can start that conversation with intellectual property, such as the pharmaceutical industry. I would love to begin that conversation. But as it is constructed, as it is set up, and as the Supreme Court rulings have been handed down, right now, this is essentially the equivalent, legally speaking, of you walking into a bar. They have the right to refuse service to anyone. That's it. It's just that simple. If the bakery can refuse to bake a cake for the gay couple, Amazon can refuse to let you say whatever you want on their Twitch streaming platform. It's just the truth of the matter. Now, I would love to have that conversation though about nationalizing some of these assets. That would definitely be a conversation I'd be interested in.
Man, I felt bad earlier. I was preparing lunch for me and my roommate. I was pouring the peas in the pot, and I just looked at the bag and I'm like, oh no, these peas were accumulated by Tucker Carlson's slaves.
Oh, Swanson Frozen Foods, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, it's Momo. All right. Like, who's? Did I ever tell you about my screaming match with the right lip? No, Skeptic. I don't believe you did. I don't believe you did. Neon. Any other day, I'd dive into that conversation, but it seems we're sort of Neon. Come back another day and ask me about my anarchistic practices and praxis, and my particular theories. If you want to do some reading, I'm a post-left, post-anarchist. Neon. That'll put you on track as to what I believe. If you want to look up that sort of thing. Yes, Joe. I am protecting you right now. We'll reestablish that later, Joe. Don't worry about it. No hard feelings. Just doing what I got to do. Oh, Indian nationalists. Oh, they're always fun. Why would you oppose them? Like, you claim to be against imperialism when you support an imperialist system, such as the police who was put into place by the British Empire when they colonized India. That's fair. Wither, what would nationalizing a pharma industry look like? If you want to read on what that would look like, read up about industrial changes made during World War II for spinning up wartime manufacturing, utilizing the defense industries. That's probably where you want to start, Wither, if you want to do your historical research on that one. And Sumdum, I'm aware of the issue. Don't tell me to do something explicitly like that. All right? It's been addressed. Cassiopeia, that would be a hell of a maneuver. No, Glazy, there's not. He's already said he won't. Like, it's I've been challenged, and I said I don't accept your challenge. Like, get into Discord or shove off. Like,
we're not going to debate with a floating thing of text.
Yeah. Like, that's just how that works. Get into voice. That's how that shit works. Neon, I don't have enough time in my day or enough spoons in my drawer to hate libs. Libs annoy the ever-loving fuck out of me half the time. But so does a little brother, right? Doesn't mean you murder them. Although, don't tell Cain and Abel that, I suppose. Wouldn't it look like a bit like the development of the COVID RNA vaccine? Rev, little bit, yeah. Oh yeah, no, Skeptic, yeah. The concept of modern police, the concept of policing is a modern concept. There are multitudes of societies that existed without the formalization that we see as the modern police system. Modern metropolitan policing came into be in the 1800s with the set of Peel Acts in Britain. See Sir Robert Peel. I've done this spiel too many times. I have old podcast episodes on it. I'm not doing the origins of and problems with policing again. But yes, for sure. Rev fucking Peel. No, skeptic. This is the thing I always have to point out. It didn't originate with the slave patrols. It didn't. Okay? It just didn't. It originated in London, England. When it came to North America, the first modern metropolitan police force in this country was in Boston. Now, the contemporary iteration of policing is an amalgamation of the slave patrols and the union-busting big business of South and North. So to say that it originated from slave patrols is a half-truth at best. And disingenuous. So, correction issued. Am I getting? Oh, fucking! I'm getting notifications. Yeah, I don't care. Don't tell me that shit. There we go. Bye, public. I hope I caught you. Bye, public.
Have a good one, public.
There we go. All right. Sage, I would refer you to earlier. Today is not really an anarchist theory day. It seems today has been something else entirely. But what about anarchism is appealing to me? One, individual autonomy. Two, an ideology. It's not an ideology. I really need to lean off that word. Stirner would smack me for just saying it. It's a set of philosophies and ideals that encompass such a broad spectrum of a network of ideas, in the words of Emma Goldman, that allow for that dynamism that is necessary within a distributed network topology. And so you see cybernetic theorists talk about this a lot. And if you read up on post-anarchism, this is who you're going to hear a lot about, is cybernetic theorists. And for those of you who are wondering why I'm talking about robots, cybernetic theorists are not about robots. It's a whole other thing. But yes, individual autonomy balanced against the needs of the social group to the betterment of the society is definitely a system that I can get behind. It's about as far as I'm willing to go into it right now, as it were. Neon, fair enough. Let me try and catch up on some of chat here. Oh, yeah, Zero. Yeah, basically, yeah. Oh, Casual, I didn't even see that. When did that happen? Let me pop my stream manager open. Give me one sec, Casual.
What's going on?
Oh, all right. Well, yep. Glazy, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you what's about to happen. Somebody has spent 30,000 channel points to time you out for 10 minutes. Now, I will tell you, most people get a little more respect if they stick around till the end of the timeout. But it is up to you whether you choose to stay or not. But, as I stated, somebody has spent 30,000 channel points to time you out for 10 minutes. So, it's going to start now, Glazy. There we go. And thank you for the gift sub, Tiddly. Zero, congratulations. You have Tiddly to thank for that one. No, Joe. No. I'm not doing it permanently, but you're on a fucking bender today, and I need to apparently step in. Oh my god, what? I meant that emotionally, Joe. I didn't mean that intoxicantly. Nice, Rev. I wish I had that one linked. Tell you what, fuck it. Give me 1 sec. Rather than skip. $18.29 skeptic. $18.29. Land back.
Ladies and gentlemen, Alex Jones here for Proudly Radical.
It is 0.
Since I owe Kai a few favors from back in the old days. Shit, I probably shouldn't talk about that. Wait, why are you still recording? Fine. Just be sure to edit it out. Anyways, as I was saying, this is Alex Jones, and I just wanted to teach the proletariat a few things about anarchism. Anarchism isn't about chaos. In fact, it's quite the opposite.
Thank you.
Anarchism is about the people. It's about solidarity and mutual aid. It's about removing unjust authority and hierarchies. We should all be anarchists. The world would be a better place. Now, I'm going to apologize again to all those parents whose lives I ruined because I'm such a douchebag. Jones, out. All right, Kai, this has got to make us even for that incident you helped me out with.
Copy link.
Today's headcanon is very simple, folks. Alex Jones didn't know how to properly eat an Oreo, and Kai taught him. There was no proper way to eat an Oreo, but this was the best way he enjoyed.
Skeptic, if you want to hear the whole spiel, there's the George Floyd version of the origins of and problems with policing. It's a reissue I did. The original episode was much earlier than that. But when George Floyd snapped off, I did an updated version of it with like some additional commentary. So there's the link in chat. Let's see. It has been, let's see, Jesus Christ, 2 hours. You know what? Normally I try and reduce it down to, I try and keep a minimum of 3-hour streams, but given the issues I'm having with my throat and voice right now, I think 2 hours is probably more than enough. Anything further is going to just drag out into 4 and 5 hours probably. So I think I may actually call it an early night. I know we had a really active chat, and it bothers me to sort of shut it down. But in the interest of maintaining my health and making sure that I can do further streams this week and that sort of thing, I think that's what I am considering doing, actually.
You know what? Momo is live right now. She's only got 3 viewers.
Just playing what, Stardew?
Yeah.
So for those of you that are new, I'm on traditionally 5 days a week. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 5:30 p.m. Pacific. Tuesday, Thursdays, 11:30 p.m. Pacific. Sorry, turd. So what we will do, hang on, let me first do this. All right. Oops. Why is it? Wow, thanks, Twitch. Just super helpful. Thank you, Wither. I see you over in Discord. Yeah, so I think that that's what I'm gonna do. In the interest of not fucking myself up, what we're gonna do is, oh, and tomorrow I have my first day of training. So, and physical, not fucking work or anything such things. But yeah, we'll see what the sports performance center and personal trainers can do for Kai. But yeah. So tomorrow is going to be a day. But I hope you guys are as well as you can be. If you're new around here and you caught something you liked, throw me a follow, come back another day. For those that were really hate Earthquake, sorry I wasn't doing much anarchism for you today, but you know, it's politics, economics, theology. You know, I span a wide gamut of topics. But yeah, either way, I hopefully will catch you guys tomorrow. Momo is not doing politics. Behave yourselves. Much love. Catch y'all later.